I'm the Lonely Necron, and welcome to my basement. So I have quite a few Lord of War types models that have more than 20 plus wounds. And I have enough of them from different factions that I figured that throwing them all together would be a lot of fun. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do today. This is what I've managed to get done in the last couple of days. Days off and being sick and whatnot. So I ended up buying some pink, blue, and brimstone horrors so that my Thousand Sons could have some demons. Got some of the Squig Hog boys because you can never have too many orcs. And yeah, some random other stuff in there. Because of the extreme range of a lot of these guys' weapons, they're getting the whole access to this whole 6x6 table. Probably end up on the edges. Alright, so our first contestant will be the Imperial Guard Baneblade. This one has 4 las cannons, 3 twin heavy bolters, 2 twin heavy flamers, a demolisher cannon, a coaxial cannon next to the Baneblade cannon, a heavy stubber. Yeah, this thing's just a monstrous beast. The only thing that's been able to really truly kill this thing so far has been a bunch of Catan shards. I think the Night Castle also killed it. But it pretty much wrecks everything else. So we have Shaloxi Hellblade for Slanesh. More than 20 wounds, so she counts, he counts, it counts. I don't know the pronouns here. Has a living whip. It knows the Cacophonic Choir and the Pavane of Slanesh. I'm not entirely sure how well this one's going to do because it's pretty much mostly melee. So, but it does move 16 inches, so that might help it out. I don't know. So we have an Eldar Wraith Knight. This guy has a heavy Wraith Cannon, a Shuriken Cannon, a Star Cannon, and a Sun Cannon. I didn't realize when I was making him that he didn't automatically come with an invuln, so he doesn't have the Scatter Shield, which would really help him out. Someday I'll buy another Wraith Knight, and it'll have a Scatter Shield. So this is Bleak Rides' Admech Night Castle. It's got all the stock stuff that it comes with the Night Castle in. Oh man, the Volcano Lance, the Twin Shield Siegebreaker missiles, Siegebreaker cannon, Shieldbreaker missile, Twin Meltas. It's got like a super plasma decimator thingy. This thing is just really, really stacked. Not a lot of melee, but it's definitely a walking mobile. I guess that's the same thing. Gun platform of craziness. So we have the Chaos Knight Desecrator. I run him with my Night Lord. He has a heavy stubber, a laser destructor, and a Reaper chainsword. This guy is mainly melee. I expect great things from this guy. And then we have the Silent King for the Necrons. Got pretty much everything that you come with. Can't really change weapons out for this guy, just stock things. So I expect the men here is going to do most of the work here since they just do a flat 6 damage. But we'll see. I always vote for the Necrons. I'm hoping this guy wins, but by himself he's mainly melee, so we'll see how it goes. Alright, I'm gonna set all these guys up. And we're gonna have some crazy ass fun here in a second. Well, a second for you guys, probably like 15 or 20 minutes for me. Alright, let's get this happy ass show going. Alright, so got these guys deployed around the edge of the table here. Baneblade in the corner. Schloxy in the middle. Night Desecrator back there in that corner. The Silent King back there. The Knight Castellan over here. And then the Wraith Knight in the back here. Alright, well, Shalaxi's gonna start us off, so here we go. I'm doing this on the 6x6 so that the really bigger units with the longer gun ranges can have a more open area, I guess, but for Shalaxi and the Silent King, it's kind of a definite detriment. Too far away to do any real suckers. Advanced, but even with a 22-inch move, still not close enough to do anything beyond move and advance, so Shalaxi's turn is done. But that does make it the Silent King's turn. He's probably going to do something amazing. So the Silent King started moving over slowly towards the Knight Castellan, along with the Triarchal Menhirs. So managed to do like 4 points of damage to the Knight Castellan. I mean, it's not 12 points of damage or 18 points of damage, but it's a start. That makes it the Wraith Knight's turn. So seeing that Shalaxi is already heading its way, the Wraith Knight has decided to start heading towards Shalaxi. Did a little bit of damage to her with the Sun Cannon. And then dumped everything else into the Knight Castellan, doing a little bit more damage to that thing. Alright, well, that's going to make it the Knight Desecrator's turn. Okay, so the Knight Desecrator is heading for the Baneblade. Definitely managed to wound it with the Laser Destructor. Got it down to 23. I mean, 7 points of damage, that's a little less than a fourth of its full health, so that's significant. But funnily enough, that does make it the Baneblade's turn, so it's definitely going to get some immediate shots back, I think. So the Baneblade moved closer to Shalaxi to get better range, and it dumped everything it had into the demon, and because of the invulnerable save thing, Shalaxi only took 7 damage out of everything. That was just... I mean, I hate to see it as a tank player, but as a demon player, I'm like, haha, yeah, take that invulnerable save. Rough. Alright, well that makes it the Knight Castellan's turn. Let's see if he can do something against these guys that have been shooting him. So the Knight Castellan has moved forward a little bit. Shot at the Knight Desecrator with its Volcano Lance. Didn't do anything with that. Dumped everything else it had into the Silent King. Killed off a Menhir. Did a little bit of damage to another one. So that was kind of significant there. That was painful. Alright, well, I'm going to go back around to the top of round 2 now. The Wraith Knight is going to start us off with this round. Alright, the Wraith Knight has moved even closer to Shalaxi. Still too far away to shoot with the Shuriken Cannon, but dumped everything else into her. Once again, the invulnerable save kicks in. Only 2 damage out of all of that. That was just... Sometimes I just want to strangle the demons because of that invulnerable save. Hilariously enough, it's Shalaxi's turn. So Shalaxi moved up way close to the Wraith Knight. Managed to get the Pavane of Slanesh off, but only did 1 mortal wound. Actually hit it with the Living Whip. Did a little damage there. And then tried to charge. I mean, it's an 11-inch charge. It's totally, doable, kinda, when you're a giant greater demon. but definitely failed to charge. But didn't take any damage in Overwatch, so it wasn't like a terrible thing. So, alright, so that'll take us on over to the Necron turn. So the men here regained a wound from the living metal, and then they just dumped everything they had into the Night Castellan. The men here actually did the wounding hit this time, the flat 6 damage, which is always excellent, especially against a Titan like this. And then the Silent King did some damage with his various weapons, so got it down to 11 wounds. That's a happy number. Okay, so that makes it the Baneblade's turn. So the Baneblade decided not to move. Shot its Baneblade cannon at the Wraith Knight, doing a little bit of damage. Dumped everything else it had in the Shaloxi Hellbane, and finally managed to kill it. That's it literally took every gun. It was just super ridiculous to do that. Alright, well. That makes it the Night Castellan's turn. Well, after getting smacked by the men here last turn, the Night Castellan doesn't really want anything to do with the Silent King. So he set his sights on the Desecrator. Moved forward as far as he could, actually put him in the 48-inch range for most of his guns. But he's bracketed, so Imperial dice were rolling, mostly 3s, and he needed 4s to hit, so yeah, that was sad. Super, super sad. Alright, so that'll make it the Desecrator's turn. Alright, the Desecrator pilot has decided that it's easier to just skirt the edge of the battle and let these guys fight it out. Kind of slowly making his way over towards the Baneblade. Did manage to shoot the Baneblade, but the Laser Destructor did 7 damage to it, again. Definitely done a lot of damage to this poor guy. He's not in a good mood. I foresee the Desecrator actually making it to the Baneblade and then peeling it apart with the Reaper Chainsword. There's my prediction for the game. So that'll take us to the top of the 3rd round, starting with the Silent King. Okay, so the men here healed up to full with the living metal. Did a 6 flat damage with its disruptor beam or whatever to the Night Castellan, and then the Silent King managed to kill off the Night Castellan with his Staff of Stars. It is no more. That felt nice. So that'll make it the Night Desecrator's turn, way over there on the other side of the table. And another great example of chaos being chaos. So the Desecrator is just continuing his forward marching kind of thing over towards this Baneblade, but he just kind of casually shot at the Silent King with his Laser Destructor and killed off one of the Menhirs. So now it's just the Silent King by himself. Weird stuff. Okay, well, that's gonna make it the Wraith Knight's turn. So the Wraith Knight has decided not to move, dumped everything that he had into the Baneblade, only managed to do a couple points of damage with the Sun Cannon. That makes it the Baneblade's turn to do some amazing, awesome things. Alright, the Baneblade used its Baneblade cannon on the Wraith Knight. Did a little bit of damage to it. Dumped everything else that it had into the Night Desecrator and actually managed to kill it. Sadly, it didn't explode. That would have been nice if it had exploded. That does make it the Silent King's turn. That was just amazing. It's the second time it's done that too. Well, one of the unfortunate things about the Silent King is he doesn't really have any long-range weapons on his own. 2 feet, I think, is the range for his own personal staff gun things. So, yeah, he just advanced closer to the Wraith Knight over here. Still has a long way to go because he chose that far corner in the beginning and didn't move for 2 turns, so he's got some distance. That'll make it the Wraith Knight's turn. I'm not ashamed to admit it, you know, my Wraith Knight is kind of scared of the Baneblade. It definitely took out 2 really big units, mostly on its own. And even though everybody has been plonking at it, it's still alive over there, still growling, still chewing things up. So yeah, he's just gonna hang out here and shoot everything at the Baneblade. And unfortunately, he did a couple points of damage, but that was about it. Yeah. And it is the Baneblade's turn. Alright, so this guy didn't move, he just kind of straightened out to point at the Wraith Knight better. So even on the middle bracket, hitting on 5s, this thing still managed to hit and wound the Wraith Knight enough to completely remove it from the field. And this thing has personally killed off 3 of his opponents. And that just leaves him and the Silent King. So that does make it the Silent King's turn, so I foresee a whole lot of advancing in his future. Alright, well, Silent King advanced up to here. Getting closer, I guess. I mean, the closer you get to the Baneblade, the more in range of it you are, I suppose, so at this point, without the men here, the Silent King is more of a melee guy anyway, so somebody's got to win this, which means they got to get close to him, so it is what it is. That does make it the Baneblade's turn, though. The Baneblade did kind of pivot around and then move forward to get into better range. Kind of suffered for that on the shooting phase this time. Shot everything it had at the Silent King that was available to shoot. Did get a lot of wounds, but Necron dice pulling through on that 4-up invuln for this guy. Managed to actually not suffer a single wound. That is what I like to see with the Necrons. That'll make the Silent King's turn. Another round of advancing forward and doing nothing. Yeah, all he can do is advance. It's 3 inches short of being able to actually shoot at the Baneblade. Unfortunately for Zarek, the Baneblade is most definitely in range. It is the Baneblade's turn. Definitely not going to move. Yeah, we're probably going to see some damage on the Silent King after this turn. And the Baneblade dumped everything that it had into the Silent King and did a little bit of damage with its twin heavy bolters. Okay, that'll make it the Silent King's turn. He can probably finally get close enough to shoot this turn. I do love me some Necron shooting. Hell yeah. So Zarek moved up closer, got within the shooting range area for himself. Regained a wound from the living metal. Did manage to do a couple points of damage to the Baneblade with the Scepter of Eternal Glory. And honestly, if Zarek can just keep up the invulnerable saves and the chipping away and the staying alive long enough for the living metal to kick in every turn, He could probably outlast the Baneblade and kill it, so I guess we'll find out. Too far away to charge, so it is the Baneblade's turn. So the Baneblade's never really been in the situation it's in right now, where it's bracketed and not doing very well on the shooting experience. Almost none of those hit, and the ones that did hit, only one wounded. He managed to do 2 points of damage, something like that. 3. Managed to do 3 points of damage to Zarek out of everything it has. Uh, Funny to watch, actually. So that'll make it the Silent King's turn. Well, Zarek's getting closer to him. Still out of charge range, unfortunately. Managed to do a point of damage in the shooting phase. So that puts it back to the Baneblade's turn. All those shots, and it still has to hit on a 5. Maybe this time it can do enough damage to Zarek to kill him? We'll see. So I feel like the Imperial Dice just looked at me and said, hold my beer. Because I was really, really doubting the ability of this thing to do large amounts of damage to anything at the bracket that it's at, and just to prove me wrong, it went ahead and killed the Silent King. Like, really? Baneblade? I mean, I was kind of really hoping to see the combat here when the Silent King charged in. Now I gotta make a video about that. I mean, I'm not that sad because, damn, Baneblade, way to go. Way to really just, beat the crap out of everything. Like, it killed 5 things and the Silent King killed 1 thing, and yeah, that was ridiculous. So the Baneblade wins the super heavy battle royale. That was fucking crazy. If you made it to the end of the video, I do appreciate it. This one's probably been kind of boring, watching these big guys just kind of throw their weight around a little bit. Okay, maybe not boring, but Shiloxy dying that early, and then this guy just shooting everything that came close. Just just the casual backhand of the Desecrator, just randomly shooting one of the Menhirs from across the board. This has been a fun game. I'm glad I did this. If you made it to the end of the video, I do appreciate it. I do certainly ramble. If you've listened this far, I really appreciate it. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to do the heavy support battle royale soon, and I probably should pick up the League of Random again, start that out again. It's just been a really long, weird, chaotic week. Kind of had some sadness at the beginning of the week, so kind of recovering from that. Hope you guys all have a safe and pleasant weekend. Thanks for watching.